stand to pray. Our gracious Father, I thank you for the wonderful privilege that I have tonight of being able to bow before you and to pray and ask your blessing upon this group of people who are here assembled and upon this people in this school board who have given their time and continue to do so out of the love for children and for the great obligation we have of educating them and setting them on a good course in life. Thank you too for the group that is here from the ROTC, and what a blessing it is, Father, that my own children benefited from that program. And I thank you for the things that they learned through the school, through the teachers that have dedicated themselves to educate young people. And Father, I hear from my kids the blessings that they received and things that they learned. And it's always a gracious thing and a glorious thing to hear of the liberty of what you've given to us in this land, that we can educate our children well and wisely, and that we have people who give of their time and their life to be able to see kids grow up well. I thank you, Father, for what the business is that you bring to a school board, and the business to be shared tonight, that it's an opportunity to let our voices be heard and also an opportunity to exercise wisdom. And so I do pray that you would lead and direct in this meeting, that your blessing would be upon it, that your wisdom would be discerned. And I also pray for young people. Many things can happen in a school year. We desperately need your protecting care and your sovereign grace to take us through another year of educating kids. We pray for wisdom. We pray that young people would have hearts to learn, that you would gift us with that special blessing of being able to see kids perform well. And so, Father, tonight we pray that you might be honored by what is done here tonight. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by the NJROTC.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the moment of silence. Thank you. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment? We do not. Okay, then, moving right along. Since we don't have public comment, Dr. Boyd, do you have any? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I'm sure that thank you so much for leading the pledge. I'm sure that our board would like to ask you some questions.
I think they have some slides they want to go through too, Matt.
Oh, okay.
Questions first, or wait till the slide?
Let's see the slides first. I apologize.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm Cadet Lieutenant Commander Shelby Yee, and I am the commanding officer of Fox Company. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here to share about our recent trip that our NJROTC unit took with our 3rd and 4th year cadets to Ace Adventure Resort in West Virginia. It was easily one of the most memorable experiences of the year so far. We started off early on Saturday morning by loading up the trailer and the bus and making the drive into the mountains. That same day, we jumped straight into one of the most exciting trips of the whole trip, which was whitewater rafting. Not only was it fun, but it really required teamwork, communication, and trust, because everyone in the raft had to work together. Those are the same skills that we practice in NJROTC within our unit, so it was great to see them come to life in this setting. Next slide, please. That evening, after a long day on the river, we gathered around a campfire, we shared stories, did skits, and funny impressions, and we just enjoyed being together outside of the classroom. For a lot of us, moments like this are where bonds really grow, and it gave us a chance to relax and build friendships that will carry on into how we work over the school year. Next slide, please. The next morning, we had breakfast together before going out and ziplining. For many cadets, it was their first time doing this sort of thing, and it really pushed us outside of our comfort zone, especially those of us who don't really favor heights. After ziplining, we visited an overlook of the New River Gorge. The view was incredible, especially knowing that we had been rafting down that same gorge the day before and ziplining earlier that day. Finally, we loaded the bus and made our way back home. Beyond just being a fun trip, this experience was really valuable for our unit. At the very start of the school year, it gave us motivation and momentum. We got to connect with other cadets, build stronger relationships, and set the tone for how we want to work for the rest of the school year. For our third and fourth year cadets especially, it was also a way to recognize the time, effort, and commitment that they put into the program for the past 2 or 3 years. Trips like this not only create lasting memories, but they also strengthen our leadership skills, communication, teamwork, and sense of community. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Ellen Campbell, and I am the executive officer of our lovely Fox Company. As an NS3, someone who's not yet a senior, my perspective on the trips we take are a little bit different than my COs. To me, they are the beginning of a very exciting future with King George NJRTC, with more opportunities presented to me as an upperclassman. In our unit, we go on a lot of trips. However, they do serve a purpose within our program. They help us communicate with each other. They showcase teamwork and unity. As seen in the whitewater rafting photos in the very first and second slide, whitewater rafting requires a lot of coordination and physical strength from each individual cadet in the raft. My favorite part of our trip was the campfire that CO had described earlier. It brought a sense of camaraderie to our new cadets and helped start off the year strong with some brand new memories. Some future events we have planned is our annual area manager inspection, which all of you are more than welcome to attend. We really do hope to see you there. That is on Wednesday, November 19th at 9:15 to 10:15 a.m. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share some new good memories with you, and we hope we have a good rest of your evening. Any questions?
Thank you so much. I'm sure we have questions. Mr. Bush?
Yeah, I often ask the same kind of question, but for either one of you to answer this, first of all, thank you so much. That looks very good. Appreciate all your hard work and pass on from the entire board appreciation for all the hard work you guys do. And NGR ROTC is such an honor to be able to be part of a school that has something so successful. Question: of the activities that you did with this, that outing that you did, what was the most difficult and what was the funnest?
I can for me personally, the most difficult and it's also the most fun,
Okay.
in my opinion, was whitewater rafting. It took a lot of coordination with everyone in the raft. It was difficult, but it was also fun because we got to swim, we got to talk with the people who were leading us, and talk with cadets within the raft as well. So I thought it was very fun and very difficult at the same time.
I assume you didn't tip over?
No, sir, we didn't.
No, nobody went in the water?
We did have 2 people fall in the water, but they were safe. They made it back to the raft safely. Yeah.
Okay, good.
My experience with that, I do believe that the whitewater rafting was the most difficult. However, for me, the zip lining was the most fun because I have a little fear of heights, as Theo has mentioned earlier. So it was really me overcoming my fear, which is another thing that NJROTC helps us do. There's a lot of fun. I do recommend you do it if you ever have the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
How many of you beat the major and the master sergeant in push-ups?
I don't know.
Beat the major mouse. I'm not sure how many push-ups a major and master sergeant can do.
You should know that by now.
That was politically correct.
Like a challenge.
I think you're probably going to find out.
My question is the 2 people that went in the water, was it accidental?
It was accidental. We did not mean to go in the water, but there were some parts where we did get to swim and get out of the raft and have fun.
Anyone else have questions?
I was just thinking when you go in, I've been whitewater rafting many times, but going in the water is difficult as that is, that does show teamwork, leadership, caring. And so, you said they came out safely, which it's rare, but it doesn't always happen. So kudos to all of you for those 2 that did go in. They're safe and you got them back in. I imagine some of your teammates probably assisted in getting them back in.
Definitely.
That's a great job. What a wonderful way to show teamwork even in a difficult situation. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is silly, but when I went whitewater rafting, we almost hit each other with the oars, like very dangerous. Did anybody get hit with one?
That was an or a no. We did splash each other with the orange because the masks would get close to each other and we
Yeah.
said, splash them, splash them.
Yeah, it was
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your presentation was outstanding.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Before we continue, I failed to introduce Brooke and Sultana, our student reps from King George High School and King George Middle School. Thank you for being here. Okay, Dr. Boyd, do you have anything to say?
No comment now, Madam Chair. I'll speak during superintendent's report at the end.
Okay. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Anyone? Nope. Okay, we don't have any presentations. So moving right along to the student reps, it is your time to shine. Ms. Brooke, would you like to go first?
Hi, Kim. Good evening. My name is Brooke Hayden. As the student rep, I'm honored to provide an update on behalf of King George High School. First, I'd like to acknowledge the positive impact of the newly installed metal detectors. While change can sometimes be met with uncertainty, students and staff have expressed that the detectors bring a great sense of safety and security to our building. Knowing that our school environment is protected allows us to focus more fully on learning and participating in school life. Another exciting development is the creation of the Student Government Association. Over the summer, I voiced that we needed a stronger, organized way for students to be heard and to contribute ideas. In response, the SGA has been formed and will be officially beginning with meetings, hopefully in October. This new body will give students a chance to take on leadership roles, collaborate on school initiatives, and strengthen the connections between students, staff, and administration. Our school sponsors are Ms. Huff and Ms. Carey. I believe this will have a lasting positive impact on our school culture. The high school has confirmed that one more day of PASS will be added, with Wednesday being for clubs and Thursdays will be academic focused. In addition, our sports programs are off to a strong start this season with high levels of student participation, school spirit, and our athletes are representing King George with pride and determination, with the JV football winning their last game. Clubs and student organizations are also thriving, from academic teams to service teams to creating arts. Students are finding their new place and getting involved in meaningful ways. These opportunities give us a balance and a sense of belonging beyond the classroom. Thank you for your time and your continued support for our students.
Thank you. Sultana?
Good evening. My name is Sultana. I'm the 8th grade student representative for the middle school. I want to start off by saying congratulations to our volleyball team for winning their game against Caroline last week, Thursday, and the football team also. Additionally, excellent jobs to the boys soccer team and girls basketball. Boys soccer is playing against Locust Grove today, and volleyball is playing against Louisa. The middle school has started a girls rugby club that is open to any girl that is wanting to start. On September 19th, the KGMS Talent Show is happening at 6 p.m. This is a chance for students to show their own talent and express themselves. I've had conversations with some of my peers about how they feel with the weapons detection. There were a lot of mixed opinions as expected, but there were plenty of people who said that they were more safe with it. The staff has been helpful with everyone getting past it and getting to class on time. And this Wednesday, we have picture day. And that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good information. Thank you both. What date's the talent show?
September 19th at 6 p.m. And I believe it's at the auditorium.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Let's move on to our consent agenda and our meeting minutes. Did the board have a chance to review and have any comments on them, corrections or issues? Going once. Do I have a motion to approve them?
motion to approve board minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. Any conversation, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is a discussion about donations.
So this will be consent agenda 2, but let me give you guys some background. So we do have a policy that references that we accept donations, but for some time now, we haven't employed the practice of formally accepting those. So the school board formally accepts those donations. What we'll do as we've begun this school year now is when any of our schools receive a donation, they'll go through the financial secretary. Financial secretary will record that donation, and then we'll prepare it at the school board office and bring it before the school board so that we can accept each donation as they're received. So you'll have this in your consent agenda moving forward if we get a donation within that time period.
And I see that Spotsylvania Public Schools donated hospital beds and mannequins. I saw that posted. That's awesome. And then costumes as well. So thank you to them. We don't need to vote on that or anything, do we? Do we?
We can take a motion to accept it, yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the donations as presented?
Make a motion that we accept the donations as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Do we have, next we have advisory committees, and that's just the same ones we have every year.
Yes, Madam Chair. So this, each board member is a member of one of these advisory committees, and then we also have representatives from our community that serve. You guys have in your packet the individuals that are on each advisory committee, and this evening we have this for action, and we would accept a motion to accept the advisory committees as presented.
I'll make a motion that we accept the advisory committees as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Next on the discussion items list is the 26, 27, and 27, 28 instructional calendar.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is just up for discussion this evening. It is that time of year where we approve our instructional calendars for the next 2 instructional years. We have vetted, or designed, I should say, these calendars in the school board office. We vetted them with our different departments. And really, if you remember, if you've been on the board for, I think it might have been a year and a half or so, we really went through a pretty strong vetting process of considering different stakeholder requests in terms of building our instructional calendar. Some of the highlights of that presentation about a year ago were making sure Thanksgiving was a full week, no work days in July. We had a shorter first week of the school year so that our younger students could get acclimated to the routine. We removed early releases, if you remember. We included those at one point so that we could do the literacy training for elementary school teachers. And now that that's no longer a requirement, we've removed that. Currently, this instructional calendar right now is 176 instructional days for our students and 189 teacher days for our instructional staff. We've mirrored these instructional calendars right now with Stafford and Spotsy. Those are the only 2 that I think we've seen that have been released thus far. And what we would like you to do this evening is just take a look at them. They will be public, and we'll give our community and everyone else about 2 weeks to give anybody feedback, any board member feedback. And hopefully if that process moves forward smoothly, then we'll come back at our September 22nd meeting to approve the instructional calendar. And I can take any questions, Madam Chair.
I just would like to encourage the community to look at this and please comment, prior to, because once we don't want to make changes once we approve it. My other comment is and I'm not sure there's anything that can be done about it, but the grades are due, 2 days before at the end of the semester. The students still have class, and that kind of, I don't want to say encourages, but I know there's a tendency to have a lot less attendance because the students don't see the value. So not sure if we can
I think that'll be a conversation. I spoke with Mr. Frank today about this. I think it'll be a conversation that we'll probably have at our principals meetings to see what type of creative things that we can do. It's kind of a necessary evil, I would say, because oftentimes we're closing grade books a little bit earlier so that we can spend some time with those students that need remediation and they need an extra effort to get things turned in. That's usually the point of that, no matter where I've been, and that's in other school divisions as well. But if we could figure out some way to make those days valuable, if we could figure out a way to make those days relevant to our students, even while we're still doing those diversified activities like remediation and things of that nature, I think is probably a topic of conversation we'll have in our principals meeting moving forward.
Does anyone else have any comments?
Dr. Ward, how many hours does this give us? We have to have 990, right?
Yes, this is over. So we're up above 1,000. Our last calendar was 172 days, and I believe it was 1,086 total hours. The state requirement is 990, and then we're 176 days right now, which is probably about 32, 35 additional hours. So we're probably about 1,100 hours roughly. So we've built in some snow days. If you take a look at the quarter breakdown underneath the calendars, the first and second quarter break down to 9 weeks apiece. Those are 42 days. And then the second semester, the third and fourth quarter, that's when we typically lose instructional time because of inclement weather. Those 2 quarters are 46 days apiece and spread over a total of 10 weeks each to provide for time for inclement weather closing.
Dr. Boyd, how many teacher workdays did we have last year?
Ooh. I don't know the total. Do you recall? This is actually one of these calendars that we're presenting this evening have one additional teacher workday than we had last year. Yeah. When we started crunching these dates, and King George as well as other surrounding school divisions have gone back to wrapping the spring break around the Easter holiday, which it traditionally used to be. But in each of these calendars, what that meant was that I think in the first calendar, in the 26-27, Easter fell in March, and then April was a solid full month of 5 weekdays. So we added a teacher workday in April in that first one, and then if you look at the second calendar, 27-28, the Easter holiday falls in April, and we added a teacher workday in March. That's the difference from our current instructional calendar.
There is one in April too,
Which one are you looking at?
April 23rd.
So that's the one we added. That's because spring break falls in March on that calendar.
I'm hoping for them. I was just trying to see how many did we have last year.
Okay. You looking them up? And if you remember, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Good.
I was just going to say we also last year added those parent-teacher conference days, one in the first semester and one in the second semester. So we left those in the calendar as well. We've actually got our first one coming up in October.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
You said this one mirrors Stafford and Spotsy, so it's the same.
Very much the same. They have a few additional religious holidays that they observe, Jewish holidays. I believe just Jewish holidays they observe as well. So we don't mirror them in that respect, but our spring break matches, theirs, and many of the other holidays that we observe together.
And they stop the same time.
Right around the same time. Yeah, it's in that same week. I think our transition day is one day later because when we discussed this last time, we wanted to make that first week a little shorter for our K-1-2 students so they could get a few days in on the front end, have a weekend, and come back on a Monday ready to understand the routine a little better, which worked quite well with the transitional day.
Which are the counties that don't mirror us? I'm thinking in terms of like the governor's school, how they have all those issues with scheduling. So it would be good if we could try to figure out a way that we can get aligned.
We're getting closer. I think so what it used to be was Stafford, Spotsy, Fredericksburg used to all observe the spring break, and spring break is where the real difference is. They would all observe spring break the second week in March. I think it was like March 15th, right around that week. all of the Northern Next schools, so your CBGS schools, all of those schools would observe spring break around Easter. And so there would always be that difference there. We're getting back now to where Stafford, Spotsy, King George, I'm not sure about Fredericksburg yet, but we're all getting back to observing spring break around Easter, and I'm pretty sure that our Northern Next school divisions will continue to do the same. So I think we should be in pretty good alignment. Of course, we only have 2 calendars out right now from Stafford and Spotsy, but judging from what they've done in the past, and I'll certainly talk to those superintendents as well, my inclination on the front end is that we'll probably all match with spring break moving forward.
Yeah, that'll be good. I just know that when we've talked about that in the governor's school, it had been challenging for them, you know, when they are trying to put together the classes. We'd all do them together, so.
It's very difficult for our kids in those programs too, because they don't really get a spring break. They have to, you know, 1 week be at King George High School for school, and then the following week they have to be at the governor's school, and they never really get off. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So 11.
Thank you, Amanda.
I have just a question. I'm assuming, obviously, the teachers, they've all seen this or are in the process of looking at it, correct?
They will. We've worked it through all of the departments, instructional department, and everything else. We'll release it now in our weekly newsletter, and that's why I don't want to approve it or do anything with it tonight.
Good.
But it has all of the same philosophies and all of the same discussions that we've had in our previous approval of instructional calendar.
You might know where I'm going with this next question. Just that I think since I've been on the board, it seems like every year there's some request to add additional days, which is always, you know, the positive and negative. It's very hard for a board to say no when you got a whole group of teachers say, can you give us this day? But it is so much better is once we have a calendar and once the board approves it and it's been through all the vetting processes of teachers, administrators, that it does not change.
Absolutely.
I know we'd all agree with that, but if that could be communicated to the teacher, you got something to say it now. But once it's approved, we're going to do our best to not, I won't be here for that later one, but we'll do our best to hold the guns, to stand firm on this calendar as long as it's been vetted properly, which I appreciate everything we're doing. You have listened. We have listened. And so let's, the best we can, not have any last minute, can you do this? Because it makes it so hard for the board if that happens. Anyway, just a comment.
Anything else about the calendar before we move on? Okay, so Dr. Board, I assume that in 2 weeks when we meet, we'll approve this.
Yes, and if board members get any feedback, if you send that my way, we can certainly vet those suggestions or concerns and move forward with what we have.
Thank you. Moving on to policy updates. This is where I believe we're just taking the forms out of our policies, correct?
Yes, Madam Chair. So we've talked about this for, I think, 2 meetings now, and really we'll still use, as I've mentioned before, many of these forms in practice, but we want to remove them from the policy manual so that we don't have to go through the process of having the board approve every form we use in practice. So this evening we have a total of 10. I have formed a motion for you guys, but and I can go as far as you need me to, but again, it's just omitting those forms. I won't go through and read all of those forms, but we have 3 regulations that need to be updated. That the regulation is EEA-R, EEAB-R, and KG-R. Those regulations reference the policy, and we're just updating the wordage so that we don't have to go back and update that when we remove the form. The forms that we would be requesting to remove this evening, and you see the names of them up above in your packet, are BDCA-F, EEA-F, EEAB-F1, EEAB-F2, GBEB-F, GBMA-F, and KG-F, that all reference forms that would be removed. I can answer any questions, but I don't know if you guys want me to go any deeper than that right now.
Does anyone have any questions regarding these policies or forms?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the changes for policies EEA-R, EEAB-R, and KG-R, and delete policies BDCA-F, EEA-F, EEAB-F1, EEAB-F2, GBEB-F, GBMA-F, and KG-F as presented.
That's correct.
Second.
Well done. I second that.
We have a motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Now we're moving on to our committee reports. I believe they're still just gearing up, but I'll go down the line and see if anybody has any committee reports. Mr. Frank?
Oh, I have one tomorrow night. That'll be the first one, I think.
Mrs. Cleveland?
My first one will be next week.
Mr. Bush?
Yeah, I just found out from Dr. Boyd that my first one with ATI will be on the 24th, we think. And then also the special ed, I believe, is November 5th, I think, something like that.
Mrs. Davis? I have mine starting as well this next week, so we'll have more to report next time. Now, the superintendent's report.
Oh, yes, Madam Chair. So I just want to report that after 1 month of school, the energy in our schools has been very positive, very energetic, and I think that's a direct tribute to our principals. So thank you all so much for beginning the school year on a positive note. I'm hearing nothing but great things, and I certainly appreciate everything you guys are doing at the building level. It's been wonderful so far. It's been a great start to the school year. On the communication front, I don't know if you've seen, we have a staff weekly memo that goes out that has been wonderful so far, and also a division newsletter that goes out about once a month. Please take a look at that. We've got Amanda's also doing a good job of recognizing, sticking with our theme for this year, hometown spirit, and recognizing staff members who have been with King George not only as graduates but now as teachers as well. It's really cool to see. It's like a high school picture of them and then a picture of them in their current role. So please take a look at that if you can. Next month, we did shorten this meeting this month, so next month we'll have a lot coming at you. So we'll have our accountability and accreditation report coming from the state, which by all indications right now looks really good. We'll also have a report from food services because we're annually responsible for giving you the financial status of our food services program. So we'll take a look at the finances of food services next month as well. I think Mr. Frank already said it, but tomorrow night is our first CT Eats. You all are always welcome. It's at the high school. It's at 5 o'clock in the library. So, and then you can roll right over to the volleyball game after that if anybody wants to see a great game. And then other than that, when we go into our work session, I will give you guys a review of where we are. As we are well past the 2-week drop add period, I'll give you an idea of where we are with student enrollment. And we'll talk about that in terms of capacity when we go into the work session this evening. So I'll save my comments for that at that time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Boyd. Now for board comment, Mr. Bush.
First of all, I want to thank the Junior ROTC. Again, sounds like some wonderful plans. And they're doing a great job. Thank you, Major Callahan and others. It's really, really a pleasure to see what's going on with that. Thank you, Brooke and Sultana, for your reports. You did a very good job this time, and I appreciate it, especially when I heard about the student government at the high school. I mean, that's fantastic. And then middle school playing rugby? Man, that's is girls and boys or just boys?
I'm pretty sure it's just girls for now.
Just girls.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm impressed. I played rugby, so I understand. It's tough. Anyway, thank you for that. Amanda, kudos to you for all the work that you're doing. Sorry, Ms. Higgins. Especially looking at those weekly reports and newsletters. It's wonderful. Thank you so much. Administration, again, thank you. I've heard nothing but good reports. I know it's the beginning of a new year and it's always exciting. Let's just hope we can keep this kind of spirit to last all year. That's the prayer. All right, that's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bush. Mrs. Davis.
Yes. I do want to give a shout out to Scotty for donating those medical goods to our CT Eats program. I saw the pictures. They're in great shape. They look great. It was such a blessing to receive. So we thank you guys, Spotsylvania County Schools. I would also like to give a shout out to our PTA people, that folks that do a lot of work for our schools and our staff and our students. I got to do the concession stand for volleyball with Mrs. Kreiser. I think Kreiser. Yeah, and so and then you just kind of learn. Like Kathy's done PTA many many years, but I've never really been a part of that. So hearing all that they do, um, I I even think they set up like homecomings, and they donations for that, concession stands, the sports, raising funds, teacher support, everything that they do is just huge, and they don't get a whole lot of recognition, I guess. So we just want to give them a shout out for all their hard work. And honestly, you hear a lot of the same names for years. Almost like church, that only 10% do all the work. That's not saying that they're the 10%. I'm just saying same folks volunteering. Um, I also was reading from the memo that you put out. It was Kelly Lewis and it was Mrs. Strauss that got the Hometown Spirit recognition, but also the DMV Blue Envelope program. That was really cool, and I didn't know that. But basically, it's a program that helps assist autism during traffic stops. People who are nervous about communicating with law enforcement can just hand them a blue envelope, and it's free of charge. You can get it. Can you get it at our school? I know at DMV stops, but no, just DMV. So I wanted to, if anybody hears this or is watching, that if their child is driving and they have some sort of, or they're just nervous, you don't even have to give a reason. You can just go pick it up, and your child can use that if they get pulled over for any reason of that nature. I'm just happy to see Ed back now. He's been on vacation forever. I was expecting him to give me a hard time when I got in almost late. I'm like, who hasn't missed a board meeting in 2 years? Anyways, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Mrs. Cleveland?
Yes, good evening. I would like to say thank you. Really enjoyed the junior ROTC presentation today. Love to see students successful in that program. And I always hear really great things about that. So I'm really happy that we have that in King George to offer our students. And to our student reps, thank you for being here and giving us the update. I would hope that my kids would give me those, but they don't. So I appreciate you guys. And I did like hearing about the safety and the weapons detection, that the students are feeling more safe in the schools, and that makes me feel really good. I overheard a conversation with the students the other day, a couple of students that were at my house, and they were also saying that they were happy that the transition has gone well, and that they felt like the routine is getting better. So I'm happy to hear that too. Also, just wanted to say thank you so much to our principals. Your leadership is key. It really is. And I will say that, I mean, in the last few years, I really do feel like this year has been the most positive energy that I have seen. And I really appreciate all of you because you are key in that. So thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, Mrs. Cleveland. Mr. Frank?
Yes, I'd just like to thank all the staff and teachers for all that you do. I'd like to thank Pastor Cruikshank for his blessing of the board today, the student reps for their comments. And I shared this with Dr. Boyd earlier today. I was baling hay 2 weeks ago now, and someone stopped by the field that I was in and came over and started talking. He said, Sergeant Major, I've been to all the schools, and everybody has a smile on their face. And that is all due to the principals that are there and the leadership that are in those buildings. There's not much that this board can do to improve morale, except give a couple days off here or there. But the morale comes from the leadership that's within the buildings, and it has been such a marked improvement. It's unreal. It's really great. I got to thank the NJROTC for their presentation. And if any of you have read the book, The Anxious Generation, it talks in there, chapter 10, talks about field trips and how field trips are important to not only grade levels, but high school students also, because it gives them a break. And I know that we've gotten away from that because everything circles around the SOLs now, and you know my feelings about SOLs. But if we could somehow or another get And I know the logistics are hard, but if we could somehow get more field trips in for these students, I think it would make them become a tighter team, and I think a lot of problems would end there also. But thank you for all that you do. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Frank. I guess I will just echo all the thanks to everybody that all my board members have already said, especially the student reps. I've learned a lot from you guys this evening that I didn't know, and we really appreciate you guys taking the time to let us know what's going on. In addition, I have been to several of the schools. I think that the weapons detections lines and everything are going much better. I've had feedback from like Mrs. Cleveland students and parents, and for the most part, it's all positive. There are a few naysayers, but we'll have that everywhere. Um, and also thank you for the donations from Spotsylvania. Thank you to the ROTC for their presentation tonight. I encourage all the board to go out to sports games. I know many of us have been. I've been to a few. I plan on trying to get to one of each sport at least this season, and there's a lot. Thank you, Mrs. Higgins, for the Hometown Heroes. I think that's fabulous. And then the last thing is, it was mentioned at the Board of Supervisors meeting a few weeks ago that we did acquire some bricks from the old middle school and trying to think of something to do with them at the new middle school because they're, commemorative. So open to ideas about that, Dr. Nice. I've talked to a few people. We just want to do something because that's, history. Also, the sign that's out there, the King George Middle School sign that's there now where there's no King George Middle School, that belongs to the PTA. I had reached out a while back. Nobody seemed to want to do anything with it. It is old, I get that. So we're trying to find out a use for that. So any ideas for that are welcome. And thank you all definitely for the spirit. Always see smiling faces and excited kids, and that's very encouraging. Thanks again. Now, moving right along, do I have a motion to go into closed session?
Pursuant to state code, I move that pursuant to state code section 2.2-3712A, the Code of Virginia, that the school convene in closed session to review hires, reassignments, resignations, terminations, substitutes, and stipends as permitted under 2.2-3711A, number 1 of the Code of Virginia.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We are now in closed session. return to open meeting.
I make a, do I have to say this? Pursuant to, oh. I move that the King George County School Board return to open session and certify that pursuant to State Code Section 2.2-3712D, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the chapter and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the public body.
Second.
All those in favor?
Sir, oh, yeah. Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Now the action resulting from the closed, no, the next one is this one.
I make a motion that we approve all of the actions discussed in the closed meeting.
Second.
Certify.
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 All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye and certifies, motion carries. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn until
The next 5 minutes.
to the next. Till
Turn to the work session. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are now adjourned.